Elimination game tonight in Cleveland. With a win tonight, the Yankees can clinch a spot in the World Series for the first time since 2009 when they won their 27th championship. Carlos Rodon gets the ball for the Yankees. Excellent in game one of the ALCS. 6 innings, 1 run on a solo homer, no walks, 9 strikeouts. The Guardians turn to Tanner Bybee to help save their season. Set it up and break it down. Welcome in former Marlins president David Samson. The Yankees moving Giancarlo Stanton back to the cleanup spot like they did a couple games ago. New York on the brink, seeking their 41st pennant in franchise history. David, take us inside the clubhouse. What are the vibes right now in that Yankee clubhouse?
Well, I think they take the lead from Giancarlo Stanton. And he was asked after the game last night, are you ready? You're going to win the pennant. He said, no, we've done nothing. And that's actually true. Winning 3 games in a best-of-7 is good, but not good enough. And Giancarlo Stanton's not going to let them in any way rest. He wants to get to the World Series and get it done tonight.
Carlos Rodon was dominant in game 1. 6 innings of 1-run baseball, no walks, 9 strikeouts. This is the guy the Yankees were hoping for when they gave him that $160 million contract 2 years ago. The big question is, can he duplicate what he did in game 1?
So he's an interesting case because every once in a while he looks like an ace.
Yep.
Every once in a while he looks like a 4.
Right.
And it must be impossible for them to tell which is which, because if I could do that, I wouldn't pitch him when he was about to look like a 4. And so what they're going to be looking for is early in the game, does he have his command? Does he have his emotions in check? Those are the 2 keys to his success. Command and emotions in check. He can't think about the fact that they're about to win a pennant. He can't think about the fact that he's trying to get them that pennant. He's got to think about the next hitter and then the hitter after that. And that's been a challenge for him from time to time.
Do you compare him at all to like Jack Flaherty, who was awesome in game 1 of the NLCS and then dog bleep in the other game last night?
Dog bleep.
Well, I mean, I can't say it, but you know what I mean? Like, because Carlos Rodon could be dominant and then look like garbage.
At Rodon's best, he's better than Flaherty's best. And at Rodon's worst, he's worse than Flaherty's worst. So what's interesting to think about is that what we saw from Flaherty, that's him. Once in a while, he's going to have a stinker.
Yep.
The problem is it's so frustrating when you've got the talent of Carlos Rodon. Forget the contracts, just the stuff, the ability to actually be what he looked like in game 1. It gets frustrating. And so they're going to look. That's what they do. They're looking. Cashman, Boone, Blake, they're all looking.
Send out the midges for Carlos Rodon if you're in Cleveland right now. It's not really the season for that, but we'll see.
That's not going to stop him.
No, well, I mean, it stops somebody named Jabba Chamberlain. So I'm just saying, you could throw out some. We got these new bugs out here, though. By the way, I'm going to move on because I'm not here to talk insects. Okay, I'm here talking baseball. Tanner Bybee will try to save the Guardians' season. He's pitched on short rest after only getting 4 outs in game 2. At the very least, David, how many innings do you need from Bybee?
Oh, it's got to look a lot like a 6 to me.
Really?
And they're calling it short rest, but I'm not calling it short rest. He had 39 pitches in game 2. It's almost like a bullpen is what he did. Short rest is when you have an actual full start and then come back. So for me, Bybee, they need length because we saw what the Guardians bullpen did. They're exhausted.
They are.
Smith, they've got it. If you can stay away from Smith, Clase, if you can actually get him into the 7th, that's the work of an ace in a game that you need.
Yeah, if he's in the 7th, that probably means they're winning the game. Probably, right? Or it's a 1-0 game or no score, maybe 2-0 at the best.
And that's what you're hoping for out of him. And that's when you're down 3-1, that's what you need your game 5 pitcher to do. When you're trying to win a home game, to get on the road and worry about 6 and 7 on the road, you need a dominant ace-like performance, sort of like what we got from Josh Beckett down 3-1, game 5.
You saw what was in the prompter there, didn't you? David, your Marlins squad in 2003 came back from a 3-1 deficit to beat the Cubs in the NLCS. What's the mindset for Cleveland tonight?
It's interesting. That's a very good question, Hakeem. Here's the mindset. You're not thinking about 6, you're not thinking about 7. You're riding the back of your starting pitcher, in this case Bybee, in our case it was Beckett, and he came out, he went up and into Sosa. Go back and look at the tape, and when you do that, it fired up the Marlins, scored some runs, won the game, and got on the plane. And that's the key for Cleveland. They want to get on the plane. They're there with their suitcases, and they're ready to roll. And I'm looking at this lineup. This is what we've seen, except they switched Thomas and Naylor. Naylor's been in the cleanup for the majority of this postseason. Thomas obviously has had some clutch hits, but my focus is on the first 3. Totally and solely on the first 3. You've got to get Kwan, Fry, Ramirez, they've got to win the game for you.
John Kenzie Noel starting in right field. He's got an absolute hose, and you've seen what he's done with the bat. Almost had one last night, just off the end of the bat there. Didn't barrel that up. All right, so one thing that I saw, David, and I texted you this last night when I was watching the game, Emmanuel Clase's velocity looks like it's down. It's either broken or he's gassed. One of the keys to me for Cleveland has got to be the fact they don't use him at all tonight. Take me through your keys for the Guardians.
Yeah, so he hit 100 twice.
Yeah.
So his down is still everybody's up.
Right.
The majority of people's up. For me, if you're the Guardians, what we talked about with Bibee, ace to the rescue. He's got to come to the rescue of the Guardians, too. You got to stay away from Clase. You just have to. He's not available in my mind, even though they'll use him in a save, but you've got to make it not a safe situation. And what we talked about, better first three. We really need people at the top of that order to perform. I'm looking for 3+ hits out of them and 3+ runs scored out of them.
Usually you're a stickler for the word ace, because Tanner Bibee isn't an ace. He's a number one.
He's their ace.
He's their ace,
He's
but not an ace. Correct. Just want to make sure we clear that up.
Oh, we're clear.
Yeah,
crystal.
Very clear, because it would be Shane Bieber would be the ace here. And
Shane Bieber is contributing to this series what I am on the rubber.
Oh, he's giving analysis. I'll have to call him and get analysis from Shane Bieber. All right, so for the Yankees side of this, you said everything's calm. They're in the clubhouse. They're having their pimento cheese sandwich. What are the keys for the Yankees?
The number one key is they got to have a clean game. For crying out loud, Meatloaf. They are so bad on the bases. They just, the errors, Rizzo of all people with an error. You need a clean game. Number two, rest is required for this team. This is not the youngest of teams. You see that the bullpen is taxed. Everybody's is at this time of year. You don't want to go back to New York to play games. You want to go back to New York to rest. To do that, you've got to win today. It makes a big difference. It gives you almost a week off to Game 1 of the World Series. And last, it's Rodon to the rescue. Yes, that's an alliteration here, but it really will be him to the rescue of the bullpen. That's what the starters have to do, and that's what has to be their mindset, rescuing the bullpen.
Staying away from Clay Holmes, perhaps, tonight?
You will not see, I mean, listen, I believe that Aaron Boone is going to play this not like a must-win game.
Okay.
Sort of what Dave Roberts did in Game 5. I happen to disagree. I feel like it needs to be thought of as a must-win game, as though you're down 1-3 instead of up 3-1. I don't believe the Yankees will go to Holmes. They've got Weaver available, and he can go 5 outs if he has to, maybe even 6.
Well, if the Yankees can get this done tonight, then they can thank the Mets. Why? Because had the Mets lost last night, we'd be looking at Game 1 of the World Series on Tuesday. It's now coming your way Friday. So there's a little bit of gratefulness from the Yankees side, because they can rest up before Game 1 of the World Series. Because, look, it's been done before. Your club did it coming back from 3-1, but it's not likely.
It doesn't happen every year,
no.
But it happens one game at a time. And just the way the Mets and Guardians, they have to have the same mindset. The Mets got their Game 5. Now it's the Guardians' turn to get their Game 5. And then you just figure out how to get through a Game 6. And as they say in Game 7, anything can happen.
All right, so the Yankees close it out tonight. Are they your pick to win here in Game 5 and go home and rest up?
So I'd like to see a long series, but baseball really wants to see the Yankees get to that World Series, and the Yankees want the rest. And Giancarlo Stanton, as the leader, is going to get them that rest. The Yankees are going to close it out tonight.
Yankees have met the Mets once in the World Series. It was in 2000. They have met the Dodgers in the World Series 11 times, the last coming in 1981. The Dodgers, of course, won that, but the Yankees have an advantage. If you're already looking ahead, and I know Yankee fans don't want to look ahead because, as our producer, who's a diehard Yankee fan, Lucas, we haven't won anything yet. Haven't won anything, and he's right. They haven't. They got to win tonight, and they get to the World Series and clinch a 41st pennant. Teams to have a 3-1 lead in the best-of-7 postseason series have gone on to win the series 85% of the time. Well, here's a look at the teams to buck that trend and overcome a 3-1 deficit since 2000. Most recently, the Dodgers in 2020, and there's David's Marlins Club in 2003. So you're telling me there's a chance?
15%.
There it is.
Nothing.
First pitch tonight, set for just after 8 p.m. Eastern time in Cleveland. Full highlights and post-game reaction here on CBS Sports HQ when the final pitch and the final out is recorded.